Our next speaker, Andrew Birkin from the Stop the War Coalition.
Thanks very much, Kate. Stop the War has a long history of working with C&D, and so I'm very pleased, very proud to be here. And it's an astonishing meeting. It's a very, very large meeting. You know, it's a reflection of something I want to reflect on in what I'm going to say, because I've kind of changed what I was going to say, because of course Tom and Thang have made all the arguments. And is there anyone here who thinks that Trident is a good idea? Or anybody here who thinks we shouldn't be building more houses and schools, looking after our disabled people, looking after our pensioners? I'm sure there's nobody here who doesn't know every and each argument that's being presented. Everybody knows. So what's the problem? You know, everyone knows that Trident is a crazy, crazy idea. You know, everybody knows if you use this weapon, you would destroy the planet, you would kill millions of people. How come, and Thangham is right, you know, I hope the Labour Party changed their policy. How come keeping Trident is Labour Party policy? I mean, it's a bonkers thing. How come it is? How come that when Bruce Kent single-handedly goes into the centre of Bristol today, he's mobbed by people signing the petition? People don't want this weapon. So what have we got to think about here? We've got to think about something quite serious, which is that the people of this country are not being represented in their national parliament. That's the truth of it. 80%, maybe 90% of people in this country, they don't want this weapon. And yet the politicians, they, in their suits, you know, they're all very polite to each other. They're going to vote time and time and time again for these weapons. I don't understand it. I mean, yesterday was Tom's explained this very, very well. Yesterday, the welfare state was ended in this country. It was finished. Everything that you fought for, everything that was introduced in the post-war period, and some of you will have been to see Ken Loach's very fine film, The Spirit of 45. People came back from that war, determined not to have any more wars, determined to build a health service, to build houses, to build schools. That is finished. That is finished. You've got Ian Duncan Smith, you know, and Edwina Currie, the former Minister for X, going on television and saying this: I could live on £53 a week. These are multi-millionaires. Even David Miliband, the MP for South Shields, an extraordinarily poor area of this country, is a multi-millionaire through his work inside the Labour Party. How did that happen? He's just gone to America to a hugely well-paid job. Edwina Currie said this. She said, I could live on £53 a week. So the television channel, I think it was the BBC or, you know, one of these television channels, said, Edwina, will you come into the studios and put this case for living? She said, yes, I will. My fee is £500. That's how they make their money. That's how these people make their money. And they expect the rest of us to take it lying down. They expect our schools to be holes for our children, not to be properly educated. They expect our pensioners to live in poverty and be cold. They say in this most recent period, 4,500 pensioners have died in excess of normal times because of the cuts that are being made to people. This is just dreadful. And then, you know, Kate said to me, don't say anything in this speech, just say 100 million, 100 million, 100 million. Yeah, 100 billion, sorry, 100 billion. Even at this point, I've got it wrong. 100 billion. I can't even conceive of that figure. Now look, the answer, this is a democratic deficit. This is what I think we have to begin to really examine in this country. This is a moment of change. This campaign is a moment whose time has come, because it has to be linked directly with this struggle to defend everything that we hold dear. Everything that we hold dear. They are not separate. They're exactly the same. Bruce is one man. Look, the only reason that there is any support anywhere for Trident or for war itself is because you've got the whole of the media, the Murdoch press, and all the rest who have billions at their disposal to tell you lies every day, and you have Bruce Kent and a few other people touring the country telling you the truth. And who do people believe? You know, they don't believe what's in the Sun or the Times, the Mail. They don't believe it anymore. So we have to rise up, really. We have to rise up. We have to say, we're not going to take this anymore, because everything that the anti-war movement has said has come true. When Kate and I and others fought in 2003 to try and stop the war, you know, and I apologise, a Labour government took us into the most terrible war. How many people died in Iraq? How many people died? We told them that many thousands of people would die, innocent people. Well, some estimates say that nearly 1 million people died in Iraq. That country is the most terrible, terrible, terrible mess. They used depleted uranium. They used chemical weapons. They said Saddam Hussein has chemical weapons. He didn't have chemical weapons. He didn't have weapons of mass destruction. He didn't. What they did is they used those weapons in that country and destroyed those people. And they did it again in Libya. They'll do it again in the rest of the Middle East if they can. So I think this is a fantastic meeting, you know. And there will be meetings like this up and down the country. But we have to begin to ask ourselves some really serious questions. How are we going to change things? How are we going to change things in Parliament? And how are we going to find people like Thangham, parties that will really represent the people of this country and get rid of Trident? Thank you.
Thanks very much, Andrew.